exciting moment for me as I get to present to you guys Mindset Monday. So welcome back. It is a blissfully, slightly cold, drizzly day today, but I want to speak to you directly, truly as job seekers who are tired, but yet you're still trying. I want to speak to the person who has sent out countless applications, the person who's rewritten their resume an absolute ton, the person who has updated their LinkedIn profile until they were just exhausted and the laptop fell asleep with the laptop on their lap, the person who's reached out to people, shown up to these workshops, asked for feedback, prepared for interviews, still feels that the process just isn't moving fast enough for them. I want to start with really being honest with the community and with everybody today. The job search is not just a professional process. It's an emotional process. It challenges your patience. It challenges your confidence. And ultimately, it challenges your identity. It challenges how you see yourself when the market is not giving you the immediate proof that the work that you're pouring in is actually working. And that is why mindset matters so much. Not the fake kind of mindset where we pretend everything is fine, not toxic positivity where everything's just rainbows and sunshine, not just believe harder. I'm talking about the kind of mindset that helps you stay steady when the process is truly uncomfortable. The kind of mindset that helps you take ownership without carrying shame. The kind of mindset that reminds you that you are responsible for the work, but you are not alone in that work. So today, I want to deliver the 10 truths for a job seeker who is tired, but is yet still really, truly trying. These are not meant to beat you up. These are not, they truly are meant to wake you up. They are meant to protect your energy. They are meant to help you step into this week or any week with more clarity, more ownership, and ultimately, because of that, more peace. So, truth number one. No one can do the work for you, but you do not have to do that work alone. This is where I think we fundamentally have to start. No one can do that work for you. I or any other coach can guide you. A community, there's a collective group like we saw on Friday can encourage you. A connection can help open a door for you. A referral can help you get seen. A resume can create some buzz and some interest, but you still have to take that next step. You still have to send the message. You still have to show up to the call. You still have to prepare for that interview. You still have to make the next right move when your emotions are telling you to shut down. But I want you to hear me clearly here. That does not mean that all of those things are being done alone. If you didn't notice, there's a whole lot of support in there. Because the idea of being unsupported is just wrong. That does mean that you have to clarify and understand that you're not carrying all of this burden yourself. And here in our community, we believe in ownership, right? But without isolation. You own your process. It is your strategy. But you do not have to walk through that strategy by yourself. And that is the difference. We're not waiting for someone to come in and save us, right? We are building our way forward together. Second truth. The job search is not a reflection of your worth. I think this one is the most rich. The job search will tempt you to measure your value by responses, sometimes based on the lack of responses from a recruiter, the fact that you very rarely ever get feedback on an interview, and if you did, would you even want it? The no movement after that final round, that stagnant ghosting. The fact that there's no clarity after you thought the conversation went well. And if you're not careful, you will start attaching all kinds of meaning to the silence. You will start saying things like, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm too young. Maybe my experience does not matter. Maybe I missed my window. Maybe no one even sees my strength. But I want you to really sit in this. Silence is not always a statement. Rejection is 100% not a verdict. A slow season does not mean your career is over. The market may be difficult. The system may be frustrating. The process 100% may not be perfect. But none of that gets to define who you are and your value. You are not your inbox. You are not your last rejection. You are not your current employment status. You are a person with skills, experience, wisdom, perspective, and ultimately that leads to value. The process may need to be improved. The strategy may need to be adjusted, but the materials may need to be possibly tightened. The networking may not be perfect or intentional yet, but your worth is not on trial. The third one, your mind will try to turn uncertainty into a conclusion. Now, data will tell you that this is the primary reason why job seekers struggle. This is the largest trap. Your mind does not like open loops. It's human nature. It 100% will run from uncertainty. The flight will take over. So when there is missing information, your mind will try to fill the blank. When you've not heard back, that'll switch and become they're not interested. When I stumbled on one answer becomes I blew the whole interview. When someone else gets a job and I'm doom scrolling through LinkedIn, it slowly becomes I'm falling behind. But it is not truth. That is your mind trying to create certain understanding where there is incomplete information. So this week, I want you to slow your process down. Do not let emotion become evidence. Pause, breathe, run to facts, and then ask yourself, what do I actually know? What am I assuming? What action can I take from here? Because when you act from fear, you usually either overcorrect or worse, you just shut down. But when you act from truth and facts, you can move into clarity. And that's the goal this week. Not emotional perfection, just seeking clarity. 4, boundaries protect your energy. The job search can take over your whole life if you let it. You wake up thinking about it. You check your email all day. You refresh LinkedIn. You scan those job boards late into the night. You replay interviews over and over in your head. You compare yourself to other people. You go to bed exhausted, but you still feel like you did not do enough. And that is just not sustainable. And it is 100% not strategic. A healthy job seeker makes better decisions always by slowing down. So this week, I want you to set better boundaries with the search. 9 to 3 rule, if you will. Set a start time. Set a stop time. Decide what your focused actions are for the day and for the week. Protect your sleep, protect your health, protect your family time, and protect your mind. Because the goal is not to be consumed by this job search. The goal is to become consistent inside the job search. And there is a clear difference. Consistency requires energy, and energy requires boundaries. Boundaries are not weaknesses. Boundaries are how you stay in this game long enough for all the work to compound and for you to find that ultimate right job. 5, not every single opportunity deserves your full energy. Now, this one is going to be extremely hard for some job seekers to hear. But just because a job is posted does not mean it deserves your whole heart. Not every opportunity is aligned. Not every company is the right fit. And not every role is worth chasing. Not every application deserves an emotional investment. And when you are tired, it is easy to confuse activity with progress. You start applying to anything that looks even remotely close. You convince yourself that maybe it's this one and it could be the one that works out. You spend hours on roles that do not match your strengths, your direction, your experience, or your long-term goals. And then those roles do not respond, or they ghost you and they leave you, and you are left broken and hurt. That is wasted emotional energy. This week, I want you to be more intentional. You are not trying to get every job. You are trying to build towards the right job. That means you need to know and understand your targets. You need to understand your own personal worth and your own value. You need to know the companies that actually make sense for you and why they make sense. You need to know where your energy is best spent. As I love to say, this is all about playing chess, not checkers. The goal is not more motion and activity. It's truly, the goal is about better strategic movement towards your ultimate goal, which is the right job in the right company. I went through 5. We're going to pause there, and I'll do the next 5 next week, right? And so as I wrap this up, I want you guys to understand this piece. When I wrote this out, I wrote this out because I understand the pain and the suffering that so many have mentioned, but also the confusion. And that's where mindset becomes so important. If you haven't noticed, there is an interweaving link between each of these. They're stacking upon themselves. And they do that because having the right mindset does not mean that it's perfect all the time. Having the right mindset does not mean that you just plow through and push through these moments. No, having the right mindset means that you are building the right structural habits. You lessen the ups, you lessen the downs, you build a constant set of growth that comes no matter how you feel, no matter what the outside forces do. You control your controllables and you build upon them. That's the goal that we have to have. And as we come back, and I want you to think through these for this week and come back next week for the last 5, the idea is we're going to wrap this together so that not only do we take the right action this week, but we set ourselves up to take all of the right actions going into June and July, which is where we shift our focus, is now into those summer months where we're going to lean in and we're going to find that right job because we are targeted and we are selective. I appreciate you guys as always. Hopefully this was helpful. And I look forward, of course, having a conversation with everybody that's on live. And I look forward to seeing you next week for our last 5. Take care.